So today I'm going to share with you how to tell gold from fool's gold, or basically how to make sure or how to know if a deal, a business is good for you to buy or bad for you. So if you're new to this channel, my name is Moran Pober. I'm the founder of Acquisitions.com, and I'm here to help you buy your dream business or a few of them. 99% of people out there, books, seminars, people who are making videos are talking to you about how to start businesses from scratch, how to grow them one client at a time. I'm here to show you that you can grow one business at a time and just go and buy the business that you want, immediately get access to more revenues, clients, employees, and it's just such a better, faster way to get yourself to your dream lifestyle, in my opinion. I've done it, my clients did it. I just share with you my excitement about this space. So if you decide that this is a route you want to explore, here are a few things you want to look at, right? The first thing is you want to look for the seller income. Look at what, so if you're looking at the business to buy, right? You have some information about the business, you have some financials, some information memorandum. Look at what income that seller made last year, because eventually, that's the money that you'll have access to as the new owner. Probably the most important thing you're thinking about when you're thinking about buying a business is, hey, how much money am I going to make from it, right? And that's how you look at it. You're going to the financials and you see how much money did the seller earn last 2 years, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, right? And look for averages. See, did it went up, down, see what's going on there, because that's the money you're going to have access to either run the business yourself and take the money to yourself, or to use that money to reinvest in the business, or maybe even to hire a general manager so you can step back and just be some kind of an absentee owner, or someone who's just the owner, shareholder, and not the basically running businesses, right? So you're just becoming someone who's owning businesses but not running businesses. Either is fine, it's your decision, but that's how you look at it. You're looking at how much the owner took home last year. There are details we're going into it in other videos, how you really find how much money he took, because it's not just looking at net income or something like that. There are more small details you need to look at to understand how much money it took away from that business last year. So look at that first, figure out, okay, is that business worthy of me? Is that enough money for me to take home if I'm running the day-to-day? Or maybe is it enough money for me to hire someone else? Another solution is maybe, hey, is this a good enough business for me to maybe run for the first few months, because I can see that I can grow it a little bit more, and then I have enough money to hire someone else. So definitely look into those things. Second thing you want to look at is revenues. Revenues, in the end of the day, business in the end of the day is making sure more money coming in than money going out, right? But the most important thing to begin with is the top line. If you don't have revenues, if you don't have sales, then you don't have a business, right? So every time you're looking at a business, look at the top line. See what the revenues for last year, what's the revenues for 2 years ago, right? Look at the last 3 years, see, did it go up, did it go down? Why? Ask the seller, ask the business owner, right? Look into those details, because when you have enough revenues, it means that you have enough money to hire employees, right? And the reason that you want to hire employees is for you to eventually, again, become the owner of the business and not just someone who's running and doing the day-to-day stuff. And unless you have enough revenues, you just won't have enough money to hire people. We can go into the details a little bit more, but ideally that revenues is not coming from just one person, one client, right? So look into those things, figure out, do we have enough revenues? For me, ideally, I wouldn't even look at a business that's doing less than $500,000 a year, because usually it's not really a business, it's more of a one-man hobby thing. That's what all the other people will teach you to start a business from scratch usually aim for. They tell you, hey, let's build you a business that make you $6-figure a year, but you're not really building yourself a business there, you're building yourself a job, because you're going to become the only person who's running the day-to-day. Usually what I see, unfortunately, a lot of people are getting stuck at is that they're growing the business, but they're not making enough so they can hire other people to do their role. So they just need to do everything. What they end up with is just a high-paying hobby. I think that's a good way to describe that. Third thing you want to look at is the business model, right? And it can be as simple as understanding, hey, is this business easy to compete with? Right? Think with yourself. Is this easy for someone else to literally just take a few $1,000s and start a competitive business with that business that I'm looking to buy? Think about these things. It's super important, and think what kind of uniqueness that business have. Maybe you don't have any uniqueness and you need to think with yourself, is this something I want to get myself into? Is this something that's worthy of me? I think that's one of the biggest questions you can ask yourself. Is this business worthy of me? What Warren Buffett call a moat. Does that business have a moat? something unique about him that is pushing him away from all the competitors, right? You look at Coca-Cola or Gillette. Coca-Cola have their recipe that no one knows about, right? They have their branding. It's super hard to go and compete against Coca-Cola, even if you're trying to build yourself your own cola. Like I remember Richard Branson tried to create his own cola, right? The Virgin Cola, but it didn't work at all because it's super difficult to compete with something that is out there for so many years. The brand is out there, and just go and give it a try to compete with Coca-Cola, right? It's almost impossible. I'm not saying that you need to buy Coca-Cola. I'm saying when you looking to buy a business, think with yourself, what kind of uniqueness that business has. Next thing you want to look at is the owner role in the day-to-day, right? I think it's super important for you to understand what the owner is doing day to day to grow the business, to run the business, and what's going to happen if the owner is going to leave tomorrow. If you're smart, you know how to negotiate the transition period with the owner. What happens if the owner is not there and the business is solely dependent on him? Do you know how to handle it, right? How many hours the owner works each week? Is that something that you want to do? Or do we have a skill set that the owner got that is super impossible maybe to hire, right? That's another something you want to pay attention to. If it's super impossible to hire somewhere else, then maybe you need to reconsider if you want to even buy that business, because you want to find someone who, ideally you want to find a business that is so easy to replace the owner, right? You can just literally go out there and everyone can do that job because it's super simple to understand what the owner is doing. Ideally, the owner isn't doing anything. And then you can buy a business and from day one become the shareholder and the owner of the business while you have a management team in place. Another thing you want to look at when you're looking at the business is the marketing. What kind of marketing the business is doing, right? For example, I've done a deal in the past where the business did no marketing whatsoever to their existing list of clients. And I'm talking, they had thousands of lists of people, like literally 50,000 people on their list that they never got in touch with again. I looked at this deal, I'm like, oh my God, I can do so much. There's such a low-hanging fruit opportunity here where I just literally all I need to do is get in touch with those people again, and we're probably going to increase the profits double, right? Double the profits immediately, which is what happened, right? So you need to think with yourself, the business, is it doing any marketing? Sometimes some of the best acquisitions you can do are businesses who just grow by word of mouth. It means that the product is amazing. It means that the people are usually good people who run the business, so they're getting a lot of referrals. And then if you're just putting some marketing into play, into that business, I mean, the upside can be insane. So that's something you definitely want to take a look at. Which leads me to the next thing, which is you want to look at the employees of the business, right? So what's going to happen with the employees if the business is going to move to you, right? If you're going to buy the business, usually there's some kind of a resistance from the employees when they see, hey, someone else is buying the business. So you need to be there. You need to figure out, hey, what happened? Like, what's going to happen after I'm going to be the owner, right? Are they okay with that? Can you build some rapport with them and relationships while you're doing due diligence on a deal, right? You need to figure out where they're at. Maybe they're super loyal to the owner, and I don't know, after that, no one's going to stay. Those are things you need to take a look at. Another thing you want to look at is the financials. You want to see good books. If there is no accurate financials, I immediately, it's like a red flag. I'm like, I need to step away from this deal, because who knows those numbers are even make sense, right? If they can give me like tax returns or like normal numbers from an accountant, something is weird here, right? If you're telling me, hey, we just did this financials, this P&L and balance sheet by just wrote it down on pen and paper, I know this is probably something I need to step away from, right? Like at least I want some basic financials with an accountant, right? Some statutory accounts, what we call, something that I can then able to create some kind of a normal forecast or forecast that I can trust. Another thing you want to look at is the location of the business. Obviously, it depends on the industry. If it's an online business, obviously the location doesn't matter as much, right? But it's something you want to pay attention to. Like a deal we're doing right now is a hair salon deal, then obviously the location matters a lot, right? So definitely something you want to pay attention to. Another thing you want to take a look at is the growth potential, or basically what's the capacity to grow inside that business, right? So for example, like you want to understand where's the bottleneck, right? Like what's going to happen if tomorrow we're going to bring like 20 more clients, right? Like 20 more clients each day. What's going to happen? Where's the bottleneck? What's the capacity to grow? Do we have enough facilities? Do we have enough employees? What's going to happen if and when we try to grow, right? If we have enough capacity to grow more, great thing for me to know, right? If I know that, hey, if I'm going to get 20 clients tomorrow, I probably need a new manufacturing facility, then I need to rethink it, right? Because it means a lot more investment that I need to potentially put into this deal. Another thing you want to pay attention to is just trends in the sector overall, right? So I'm trying to think about a sector that just went down, right? Like digital cameras, or even that a little bit went back up nowadays with everyone's filming cameras and YouTube videos and Instagram. But you need to think what happens with that overall sector. Is that overall sector going up or down? Are people using those products? Are people using those services? If it's just a normal service business, then it's okay, right? Something that's going to stay here for, who knows, maybe forever, then you don't need to really care about those things, right? Can you do research on how that sector is responding to recessions, for example, right? Go and do research and see what happened in the last recession. So look for all those things. For me, ideally, when I look at a deal, I want to see like high margins. I want to see ideally like low-hanging fruit opportunities for some potential upside. So look for all those things. I'm telling you, those small details that I gave you right now can make or break your deal. Those are just few examples of what I'm looking at deals with my clients, with Acquisitions University. We're looking at many other things. That's going to bring me basically an amazing access to deal flow that I can then invest in as passive investor right now, which I'm trying to become more of instead of like being day-to-day role. Obviously, there are a lot of things involved in the deal making world, right? So you want to make sure you have guidance and accountability and you have that support, because you don't want to make mistakes in the small details. If you want to learn more about that, we're going to put some links here. It's basically go to acquisitions.com/training. Go and check it out. If you like this video, if you got any value, please let me know in the comment below which point you love the most. I would love to check it out and read it and reply to you back. Definitely like and subscribe this video if you didn't yet. It's super helping me. It's gonna just gonna share this with more people who are out there trying to start businesses from scratch or grow organically and just super slow, and this hopefully will inspire them to do something else. Definitely go and check those things. Get in touch, go and watch this next video we're going to put here right now. I think it's super going to help you. Go and check this video. It's going to show you what's the next step for you to follow on and make sure you understand the process of this world of buying businesses. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you soon.